some information.
We're investigators from the Crime Sheriff's Department. We're investigating that Teresa Halbach murder. Teresa Halbach.
I got nothing to say.
What we want to talk to you about is some guy, I think his first name is Tom.
That's it, the guy from Two Rivers.
Yeah, okay.
Tom.
You remember?
He's always in jail.
I don't know about that.
More than 95% of the time he's in jail.
Do you know Steve Avery at all?
Only from the junkyard.
Okay. Were you ever in prison with him at all at the same time?
Probably was, but not
Did you ever
in contact with him.
Okay. Did anybody, while you were in prison, did anybody ever give you anything to take out of the prison?
No.
As far as blood or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Do you know the story?
No, I was out of there before that happened.
You were never in the prison?
I was out of there before that happened.
Before what happened?
I was out of there in 89.
Okay.
Before what happened? What are you talking about?
Before any of this shit with Avery. I hear talk on the street.
Sure. And that's what we want to talk to you about. And that's why we were saying, can we just talk to you? Not in the hallway, but we can talk here, that's fine, wherever you want to talk. We had some information. We're looking to talk to you to see if you can tell us whether it's truthful or not. Okay?
Whatever I say is hearsay.
No.
It don't pertain to
Your
it can't hold up in court anyway.
Yeah, well, Steve, you're right, but I'm just talking about what you know personally. If you know anything.
Nothing,
that you would
nothing.
Tell us.
The only thing I know is that I went out there to buy parts. That's all I know.
Okay. But you never had contact with Steve in any prison?
No.
Were you in a couple of different prisons?
Just Kettle Moraine.
Just Kettle Moraine.
Well, except going through the indoctrination center.
Okay. And were there people there that were like mutual, like, say, you had a friend that knew Steve Avery, that type of way in prison?
No.
There was never anybody like that?
No. Oh, wait, I was in jail with him once when I went through. He was in the Manawha County Jail at the time.
Okay.
The first time when he was charged with that rape case.
Okay.
They treated him like shit up there.
Back in the 80s?
Yep, they treated him like shit up there.
When,
That I'll see.
did you actually meet him or just?
No, I was in the same cell with him.
You were in the same cell?
Or not cell, but cell block. They
Cell block.
treated him like shit.
Okay. Did he have any people that didn't like him in the inside?
So it seems like everybody didn't.
Okay.
I mean, at the county jail.
I mean, like inmates, people that were inside the jail. Do you have any people that disliked him? That people that were doing time?
In the jail?
Yeah.
Well, no, because you're separated. He hadn't gone to trial and I hadn't gone to trial. So you don't see no other inmates except the ones
There's no chance.
that you're housed with. And they're only housed separately from the ones in prison to the ones.
Were you aware of anybody that had any blood of Stephen Avery while you were in that jail, Manawha jail, or in prison?
Never even heard about it. They didn't even talk about DNA back then. There was no talk about DNA back then.
Right.
It didn't come about till after 90.
Okay. Did you happen?
That I know of.
Did you happen to tell somebody a story about Stephen Avery's blood? That guy that you had given a ride to? About that some guys that had Stephen Avery's blood?
No.
Is there any reason that you would know Teresa Halbach?
No.
Have you ever seen her, heard her, talked to her before?
No.
Would there be any reason why you would tell some kind of story that you would know her? And that you had contact with her?
No.
You know why he would?
To get me in trouble.
Why?
Because he's that kind of person.
Why is he, what kind of person is he to get you in trouble? Why would he want to?
He's a police. He's an asshole. That's why he's living on the streets. I tried helping him out, getting him a job and all that shit. He didn't want that. He wanted $20. Oh, he'd give me $20. You know, shit like that.
Give me like an estimate of a year and kind of a, when did you guys give him a?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So
when I was still driving semi.
Okay, so an old.
I was up there because I was
Right, but that'd be in 2005.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Right.
In the summer of 2005, in the fall, when in
Winter.
2000? In the winter of
Winter.
2005?
He was staying at a motel on,
In Green Bay, or?
yeah.
Okay.
Can't remember the street, but I can see the place.
Valley Inn?
Yeah, that
Ring a
could
bell?
be it, right downtown. That's where he said he was staying. When I went there to see if he was there, they didn't know anything of him, they didn't even know his name. So that was a bunch of shit too. In other words, the person at the motel didn't even know him. Never even heard of him, even when I asked him for, give him a description, he said, no, he's never been here.
Well,
But that's where he told me he was living.
Okay, you were driving truck in fall of 2005? Like semi-truck? What were you doing in into 2005?
Semi,
For a company, like?
dedicated system.
Dedicated system?
I was being made. I was never here. I was always in Texas or Florida or Louisiana, Atlanta.
Okay.
So I was never up here.
Okay.
And when I got up here, I'd stay 1 or 2 days and then be right back down again. That's the only way you make a living with a semi.
Okay.
If anybody tells you different, they're lying.
All over the road,
Right,
gone for weeks at a time, huh?
right. No, not weeks. A week at a time.
A week at a time, you'd be
But
back.
you come back here for 1.5 days and then you take off again.
Okay.
Most spend here is 1.5 days
Where were you living back in 2005?
in the truck.
You didn't have a residency
No,
apartment?
P.O. Box 502, that's it.
You're living in the truck.
No.
Was there anything like, do you know where you would be, where you normally haul to? I know you said you were hauling all, but October,
Well,
November?
I got logbooks and stuff like that.
Okay. Do you still have those logbooks by chance?
Sure.
You do? Do you have them at your place right now?
Well, I ain't gonna say that, they're probably gonna get stolen now. You probably send some thief over to grab the shit.
No. You're confused.
No, I know better than that. I don't trust that either.
Okay.
It always. I don't know. I know who you say you work for, but they ain't always honest either. Okay.
All right. This guy that you gave a ride with is saying you tell him a story of how you smuggled out some blood
No.
from
No.
prison.
No.
I guess.
No. I never was with Steve.
This is why we want to talk to you.
I said that was before or after I got out of there. That all that stuff happened with Steve
So there
was
never,
after I got out of Kittleman.
nobody ever gave you any.
I was in 98 and I was with the guards anyway. I wouldn't have done it anyway. Because I worked in the tool room in Kittlemarine.
Nobody ever gave you any.
So I had a clearance with the guards to handle tools and do maintenance work.
Okay.
And you don't get that clearance if you ain't trusted. And I would never do anything like that to start with because that would break my trust and I would lose my job.
Okay. So prior to you getting released, nobody handed you any blood.
From any prison, any institution that you were at, whether it be Fox Lake, Kettle Moraine, Dodge, any place, you were never handed any blood, and they said, this is Stephen.
That's what we're looking for. We're looking for you to put this rumor to rest. That's why we're talking.
No.
Because somebody is saying you did it, okay?
And that's what I'm talking about, your semi-law.
Yeah.
That's
That
why
you had- That you had his blood, you planted it, you set him up. and-
And if it's Tom, he's telling a lie. Tom is a liar. You can break him down real quick because he lies about everything.
Okay.
Like I told you, he lied to me about staying in a motel. He never stayed in a motel. He wanted the $20 off me, that's all he wanted. Down to the bar, get drunk, head back to the Salvation Army shelter.
Right.
That's probably where you find him.
Well, that's why we're here and why we wanted to talk to you, okay?
Okay?
Because he's saying you're responsible for her murder.
No, I ain't responsible for her murder, and I didn't even know her.
Okay. How well did you said you knew?
I was out there maybe a week or two before that happened,
Okay,
looking for parts,
Can you tell me about that a little bit?
but there's nothing there to tell. I just went out looking for parts,
Okay.
and that was it.
Did you personally know Steve at all? Were you
No.
friends with him?
Just from meeting him at the
jail?
at the jail at the
20
time.
plus years ago.
Right.
Okay,
But I knew his dad, but not him. I didn't know any of the kids, but I knew his dad.
okay. So you're around Al's age?
Right.
Okay.
And me and him used to go to racetrack, or not go together, but we worked at the racetrack, 141 Speedway,
Okay.
and also getting parts from him.
Okay.
But that's the only thing I have to do with the Averys.
Okay. That particular day, what did you go there for? What part? Remember? I know it's a long time ago, but.
No. No, I had the van at the time, so that'd be something for the van. Oh, power steering pump.
Okay.
A power steering pump for the van.
Did you find it?
No.
Did someone help you? Did Earl or Chuck or Al or someone help
They
you?
didn't have time.
Did Steve? Okay.
They didn't have time.
Did you look yourself for it or?
Well, I found the van, but they said they were junking it out. So I went to Seaside Auto, or whatever they call it now in Rivers,
Okay.
and got my power steering pump.
When was this? When did that take place?
I'm sorry, but we're gonna ask you. So,
Something we gotta do, you know, I hope you understand, but can you give us a reference as to what,
you said about a week prior to what? Her murder? Or a week prior to what?
Yeah, prior to her murder.
Which would have been,
do you know what year that would be?
It was in September.
okay.
September of what year?
Must be 05, because I didn't get the van till 05.
Okay. Sorry we're picking your brain here, but, you know.
The other thing is, do you ever see or pick up anybody on a Highway 43? Have you ever stopped and helped anybody on Highway 43?
Just the police in Sheboygan.
What I'm
When they had
talking
that
about-
girl trapped in the car.
I'm talking about, anybody that's
Hitchhikers?
broken down, right, hitchhiker, helped a stranded vehicle, any females like that, did you ever stop on
No.
43 and helped out, ever in your life? Have you ever done anything like that in your life?
We are, when I was at the semi. I don't know which way you're talking, a private van or in a semi or
I'm
whatever.
talking in general.
Because there's a lot of different ways that I travel.
2005, you ever pick up anybody, help out anybody while you were truck driving or driving normal?
Either in your van or driving truck, before you quit driving truck. Any females stranded, blown out tires, run out of gas, did you ever help anybody? Take them to a gas station?
Just the guy from Sheboygan that was in what the hell they call a canteen truck where they all go around in these machines. I stopped and helped him.
Okay.
In fact, I fixed the van for him because his boss said I could. He called his boss and all he had was a radiator was busted off. And if we took and took a loop and looped it around, he could still run the van because he had enough fluid. Or he could pull off the next exit and get the fluid.
You didn't know Teresa Halbach back in September, or you never gave her a ride anywhere?
Not that I know of.
Okay. You know who she is now, though, right?
Just from the picture in the paper.
So you would remember if you'd ever given her a ride. I would.
Not really.
You wouldn't
Not the
remember
way,
that?
not the way that women fix their hair nowadays. You could take a picture of her and redo her completely like they do on TV, and you'll never know if it's her. And a lot of women do that because I worked out in Washington State, and there was a manpower, and there was two girls in there. And one day they were one name, and next day they were another name, and then the next day they were another name. Because they were collecting 3 times, but it was only one woman. And she changed herself every time. It just happened that I got in there when this happened. You know, I was going there too much.
Okay.
In other words, I shouldn't have been going every day like I was. I would have never known this was happening because it would always been a stranger.
Sure.
See, but what I was doing, I was going every day. because I wanted a job. And that's how I figured it out. It was the same woman, but she changed herself 3 times. See, so when you say I could have picked up her, she might have looked different than what she looks like in the picture.
That's why I was asking if you had ever picked up a girl. That's why I asked it.
Because you take her now and you see her with all the hair off her head, she looked altogether different, period.
Yeah.
And a lot of them do that now too. The blacks do that. They'll have that big curly hair, and then all of a sudden you see them again in the same spot, and they're both.
So a white girl, I'm 43, how many times would you have done something like that? Given a girl?
0.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for.
0.
Looking for the accident. You've been truthful with us, and we really appreciate that, because we are trying to follow up on the murder investigation, and we really appreciate your honesty, okay, on everything that you've given us.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta,
That's a question for you. When they said that they raped her and cut her throat in that bedroom in that house trailer, why didn't they find no traces of blood? Because I know from being in the service, when you get an artery cut, that blood squirts. I mean, it squirts all over the place.
we can't,
So if he said he
We
cut,
can't
no,
talk
he
about
said,
kids.
no, I mean, but
You know
the
what I'm
kid
saying?
said he cut her throat. Well, if he cut her throat, that shit would have been spraying all over. They didn't find no blood in there. So, I mean, that don't make sense to me. I mean, I'm just thinking about,
what we gotta understand is just for your sake, so that you're clear, because people have said stuff about you, and we want to put that to rest. That you
were
haven't-
you here once before and knocked on my door?
A couple days ago, yeah.
Yeah, by the time I get there, you're gone.
Oh, really? Well, we will save us a trip today then.
Well, no, I mean, I heard somebody knocking, and by the time I got there, I opened the door, there's nobody there.
Oh,
Well, you gotta give us some time to get up and go. I mean, we can sleep, we're retired. We don't have to be up at 7 or 6 in the morning.
one more thing I want you to be truthful with, okay? And we gotta ask you this stuff because we want to get to the bottom of it. So you've been truthful with us, we want you to continue to be truthful with us, okay? Did you ever kill Teresa Halbach? Did you kill Teresa Halbach at all?
It's a blunt question, but we need an
Just,
answer.
No.
yes, no.
Why?
Would there be any reason?
Why would there be any reason for me to kill Teresa Halbach if I never knew
That was my
her?
next question.
I didn't even know her. Why would I have a reason to kill her? I don't make any sense. I don't even hang around with that group of people. You would look more where she hung out.
One or two more questions. You ever take Teresa Halbach, her body, and put it over by Steve to frame Steve Avery? And then sprinkle,
No, but her
and then sprinkle
brother
his
probably
blood,
did.
and then sprinkle his blood around.
Brother could have probably done it.
All right, but did you do that?
No. I would take the guy that used to be on the police force, Manawha County Sheriff Avery, and hold him as a suspect.
Are we, pretty much done, Wendy? I just doubt any police officer is going to be doing that and risking that, but you got anything else?
Well, no, he's retired now. He's retired for quite a few years.
Okay.
But he would have more motive than I would. I ain't even in the family.
I see what you're saying.
Somebody with motive, because Stephen probably would have got the business. It would be somebody with a motive inside the business that would, I would say, would have it, because they looking at $1 million business. It's probably not run that way right now, but it could be.
Right. All right, well, Roger, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I'd like to leave you with a card, but you have a card outside. You don't need no card? Okay.
Well, I'm the only.
If I wanted to get a hold of you, all I had to do is call you on my cell phone.
I'm the
How are you
only.
gonna know my number if you don't have my
411.
411?
Information. Give your name, they give me the number, and they dial it for
Do
me.
you remember my name?
No, but you're from the Manawha County, Calumet.
Calumet County.
Kelly.
There you go. Calumet County
Both
Sheriff's
the
Department.
same, both the same.
Yeah.
You would find us that way if you needed to get back.
But they're both the same, they've used them for years, because I was a teenager at one time, and I run away, and instead of holding me in Manawha, they put me in Calumet.
Okay.
And them two been working together It's just like it's one.
Here's the one last thing I would request from you, and that is, if you get any information, you pass that to us, and you try to get a hold of us again.
But I hang around with nobody that I would have information
If
from.
something comes by your way, that's all I'm asking. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Tom up there in Green Bay, I wouldn't even get next to him again.
Okay.
For just what you told me and for what I know about him. I tried helping him, tried getting him back on his feet, but he don't wanna do it. He can't, you can lead him to the water, but you can't make him drink.
Absolutely. I appreciate you talking to us.
Cause I could have got him a job at the ABC up there, even if it's just on the dock, it pays $16 an hour. But if you don't wanna quit drinking, you don't wanna quit, you know,
Yeah.
they ain't gonna hold him for a job.
Does he have some drug use in his background there?
Well, that part I don't know. I know drinking, but not, I don't know anything about the drug part.
Good question.
No,
All right.
I never hung around with him.
Thanks a lot. Take care.